let's share some food in fellowship. You know, in most churches, food is synonymous with fellowship. It really is. There's nothing wrong with that. And as we discover and as we discuss the theology of fellowship, community in a church, it's a lot deeper than just gathering together for food. Some churches, what they do is they program fellowship within small groups. If we're worshiping large, which is very biblical, and we get together in small groups where we can have life on life, and that it becomes your fellowship. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it gets a little bit deeper than that. No matter if you're a part of a large church or a small church, true community, true fellowship cannot be programmed. It has to be caught, not taught. You know, as people think of accountability, as we develop these deep relationships and we share our deepest secrets and our sins and all that other stuff, and say, oh, we have it out in the open. Oh, I can get the forgiveness and move on. But you know, a lot of times when we share those deep, dark secrets and we get it out in the open, we continue to be in that pattern of sin. No matter what it is, from the smallest to the greatest, or for lack of better terms, from the smallest sins to the larger sins, if we just gather and we just share our deepest sins, say, oh, it's in the light, chances are you're going to repeat that sin again. Community goes much, much deeper than that. Community really, and the accountability aspect, is allowing people into your life, allowing them in, taking down the guards of your heart, where you don't have to share those secrets. People will know. People who love you, that want to protect you, that is going to surround you and encourage you. That's community. That's fellowship. So when you do stumble, they're there to love on you, to encourage you, to be stern with you, to say, hey, what can we do to prevent this from happening again? Having those type of relationships, that is a deep sense of community. Community is also that's at the smallest part, where the life on life, having those people surrounding us. But let's go a little bit larger than that, into the church in general, to smaller churches and larger churches. Community and fellowship is also this atmosphere of grace and acceptance. We all are on this journey in life. Some of us have had some really rough patches in life. We've messed up. When we come to a church, when we come to a community of faith on a Sunday morning saying, I am seeking out God, the church, the larger body, has to create an atmosphere of love and acceptance, no matter where that person has been in life. That is really tough, because most of the time the church wants people to be put together and be okay and dress a certain way, then come to church. How about we accept everybody, no matter what this life has brought, having this atmosphere of grace. And then, as relationships develop, nurture can take place, mentorship can take place, community and fellowship, and more grace and acceptance, and allowing people to come in to protect you and to keep you accountable. There's also the aspect that there has to be the accountability of being in the Word every single day. That's a part of community. See, this notion of community or fellowship is extremely large. And we have to look at all these different aspects of it. It's not just one thing, well, we're just going to do it in small groups and program it, or we're going to have this program. It permeates every aspect of what we do. From the leadership teams, to the governance teams, to the staff, to the small groups, to Sunday morning worship. This sense of community and fellowship oozes at every level. This notion of acceptance and care and nurture, that we are there for each other. That is the true sense of community. And also, as we come together, we're also pushing in the same direction. We have the same vision and mission and values of that community of faith, that local church. That's all a part of community and fellowship. I remember I had a friend quite a while ago, and they just wanted to enjoy fellowship. That was their heart for the church, enjoy fellowship. So this person stayed at this church for a couple of years and enjoyed fellowship. And it's like, well, the relationships are getting kind of close, and, I'm getting kind of uncomfortable. I'm going to go over to this church, and I'm going to enjoy fellowship. And as relationships started to develop and deepen, they ended up going to a different church to enjoy fellowship. We have a weird notion, an idea of what fellowship really is. This individual never grabbed a hold of it to say, you know what? Fellowship was happening when those relationships were deepening. A great resource for this notion of being there at every single level and allowing some people to come in to protect us is this book. It's a story, it's an allegory of what fellowship or community can be. Bo's Cafe is set in a story setting to provide an atmosphere of protection in that. And when we live it out, we live out the biblical one another's at every single level, whether it's on a ministry team, in a small group, on a staff, at the governance level, on a Sunday morning, every single level, we commit to living out the biblical one another's of serving one another, accepting one another, forgiving one another, greeting one another, bearing one another's burdens, be devoted to one another, honor one another, teach one another, submit to one another, and encourage one another. We keep those the focus at every level. And that's what I truly believe is the theology of fellowship, or the theology of community. Having that atmosphere, the churches will grow. Because in that atmosphere, the good news can penetrate people's hearts even more. Then you throw in worship on top of that you're worshiping and being there for one another. You're loving God and loving others. Out of that becomes this evangelistic, missional movement that will be unstoppable. That's the church. That's the theology of fellowship, and it's connected to the rest of the biblical purposes. What an amazing, amazing invention God had when He invented the church.